Welcome back everyone. Thank you very much for watching this video guys. I hope you are in a good today. So this is our video. This video is related to the Kerberos authentication actually. How Kerberos authentication works, what problems it solves, and how you can authenticate users, and how you connect your resources instances by using Kerberos authentication. So this is the video about the topic. And yes, before going to start this session, I would like to mention over here, if you folks are new, so please go and hit that subscribe button, and I will try to make the videos simple as much as possible from my end. So for that, I have our document ready, guys. So the Kerberos authentication with Amazon RDS or Postgres or whatever the instance you are using or whatever the service you are using, that that will help to seamlessly authenticate your users to the another resources, to the services. That will that will eliminate your efforts, your user management, your password management things. For that, that service is integrated with Active Directory, AWS Directory Service. The uh, uh, I mean the folks who are working for Azure, in the Azure cloud, they might be aware about the Active Directory Service. Uh, AD Active Directory is a service from Microsoft that let the users, let the folks manage the users and passwords and groups into the network. That is the Active Directory, guys. The same Active Directory is inside the AWS as a directory service. So if you want to use a Microsoft Active Directory, you have to use through it via AWS Directory Service. So this is the brief, the the process behind the Kerberos authentication. And let's see, what problems it solves. First of all, a very important topic to discuss over here: why use Kerberos? Actually, without Kerberos, what problems you are facing? After you using Kerberos, what problems you will resolve? So if you go with the Kerberos, if you do not use Kerberos, users maintain separate databases, users name and passwords. Whatever the users name, the databases you launch, whatever the users you create, whatever the users and masters name and passwords you create for the databases, you have to maintain it separately actually. When password rotation and management become difficult, obviously you have a bunch of databases and users, but then the associated password you have to periodically change it, so that will become difficult. Security policies, right? You have to manage it separately. So these things, if you want to eliminate, you will use the Kerberos authentication. It is a centralized authentication process via Active Directory. You will use Active Directory. You will put your passwords, your users into the Active Directory, and then you will simply use the resources via using AD services. So this is the the brief about the Kerberos authentication. And what problem is solving, you have already we have already discussed. That is a centralized identity and access management system. No database password is required for logged in. You just simply use the Kerberos. In the later videos, we will implement these topics in the practical. So how Kerberos works actually, so this is the another question. So the first of all, user will logged in. The user logs into the Windows or Linux machine that is joined to Active Directory. In order to use the resources, you have keep the resources attached to your ID. In Kerberos ticket request, the user system contact the Active Directory domain controller and request the ticket granting tickets. A third step, service ticket generation. When the users connect to any instances, the client requests service ticket for the Postgres service. Then the actual authentication started. Amazon RDS validate the Kerberos ticket, whatever the credentials are in that ticket against the Active Directory, and then you will finally get the access to your database ingestion. So this is the brief, the the what we can say the the process behind the Kerberos actually. So so this is general architecture. You have Active Directory users, then you will have the AWS service. In between you have a directory service, and then you have your instance, the instance you want to connect with. So there are few prerequisites, before enabling Kerberos authentication. You just create or existing, if you have a directory created, or let's see, you will create another Active Directory, then you will set up AWS Directory Service as well. Then you will join the RDS Postgres instance to the domain actually. You will find a domain inside the Active Directory. You just have to group your instances into the domain, and then you will link your Active Directory, the service to the resources. Then you will enable Kerberos authentication on the RDS instance. While launching the instance, you will get the options to enable Kerberos authentication for the instance or not. Then this is how you can simply make your instances ready for Kerberos authentication. So this is the general, use case. Suppose your organization has an Active Directory and you have the user, instead of create users, like if you have if you want to you you will use the username and password. Instead of using that, you will use the Active Directory for the login purpose. You have to keep your username and password into the Active Directory, and that credentials will authenticate against the Postgres you know uh, passwords. Benefits: if you are using the Kerberos security, no password, no database password stored by users. Uses encrypted Kerberos tickets. It's just a ticket-based authentication to your database. Reduces password-related attacks. Centralized management, user lifecycle managed in Active Directory. Then compliance, it is easy to audit, like what user did what. So this kind of thing you can use it. Then you have some of the limitation of the using the Kerberos authentication. Supported only for specific RDS instances. If you want to use the Kerberos authentication, better you just check before launching or creating an instance that supports the Kerberos authentication or not. So this is the another point to be under consideration. So this is a brief, comparison between using the ticket-based system, logging system versus password authentication. You know, password stored in the DB. In password authentication, yes, but in Kerberos authentication, you do not need to store the password into the DB actually. So this is what are the difference between other here. So, this was the brief video about the the Kerberos authentication, guys. How you can simply log into the system via using Kerberos, and how tickets flows to your tickets data will be validated against your Postgres username and password. So this is the internal workflow of using the Kerberos authentication. So I hope this video was helpful to all the viewers out there. In the later videos, we will implement the Kerberos authentication, and we will see how you can practically implement all these things. So before going to end of the session, I would like to mention over here. So if you folks are new, so please go and hit the subscribe button. I will try to make the another videos on the topics that are essential. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys.